What's up, man? How's it
So,
going?
so you guys got back from the HITEC show out in Charlotte.
Yeah, I got back last night.
How was that? That's like a big hospitality show.
Yeah, it was pretty good. A lot of people there, a lot of vendors there, a lot of people there. It was good. The highlight for us was our PDUs,
Yeah.
the power distribution units. That was really kind of an eye opener for some people, that you could manage this solution under like our cloud system. Which is like now you can, you're managing now power, routing, switching, and access points, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
Um,
so that was kind of the highlight. That and our Duraphone Roam, which I know you don't know a lot
yeah.
about, but like I learned while I was there because I'm not on the phone side, but
Mm-hmm.
the Roam system can do like it's a telephony system, right? It operates on 900 megahertz.
Mm-hmm.
But the way it works with multiple bases, and it provides like 1 million square feet of coverage.
Wow.
But the
Yeah.
important part for like that's good for a resort, right? But the one thing that we kept running into, and this was the solution for that, is being able to penetrate multiple floors.
Yeah.
And so the Roam has that capability because
Oh, okay.
you can put the base in like IDFs as you go through the floor. So
Gotcha.
you could do like a hundred floor,
Yeah. So
hotel if
you
you
like
wanted to, right?
unlimited range on those
Yeah. But
Duraphones.
and then there's the power distribution unit, which was, I think really key for like a lot of the customers, to be able to have that capability of mainly the main two things that comes up is the ability to remote power cycle
Yeah.
something. It could be a surveillance camera, it could be a computer, it could be an access point, it could be a switch, it could be a router.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And it has automatic capabilities too. So like I'm running the PDU here, and like I'm putting a picture of it right now. Like I've got this baby loaded. This is the 14 port. That's the
yeah,
big boy. Let's
that is
see,
that's if you have the 14 port, it's the ECP 214.
214, and then there's a
Yeah,
six port, the ECP 106. Or we're not calling we're calling it port. It's really outlet. 14 outlet,
yeah,
16 outlet. They only have two ports, two Ethernet ports, right? Um, so yeah, I'm running this here. I have multi-gig PoE switch here and ESG 620 router. So basically, you could set up rules in here that if the internet is not responding, then first power cycle the cable modem, then
yeah.
wait a few seconds, then power cycle the router, right? Like so,
That's right.
so I have some rules set up to do that, and since I've done that, like the internet has not gone off. I haven't noticed the internet going off, right? Um,
Yeah,
and then the other thing is when there's been a lot of electrical storms lately, and I have the PDU, on a battery backup. But it's
yeah,
also isolating all that equipment from electrical storms. And when the power did go out, like it basically comes up in an orderly manner. The PDU boots up and then it restarts all the outlets in the order that you specify, right?
yep, exactly.
So it doesn't just like if you have just like a dumb power strip in there, it doesn't just like flash everything on at the same time, right?
Yeah.
It boots up
Well, it
and
does. I mean, it also has like built-in surge protection and
mm-hmm.
overcurrent protection,
Right.
and then it's got a circuit breaker for overload
It does,
protection.
yeah, for like super
Yeah,
high end. But yeah, it's important that like for networking, you may want those outlets to come up in a certain order too. So like we said with the cable modem router, and then bring on the other one. So you can do things like that with it. And it's just like nice that it's end to end with the Ingenious Cloud. So like you said, you can remotely power cycle something if it's not responding. You can also see how much power every outlet is using. So you can look at like your power consumption of each device, to kind of dial in what your network setup's going to do.
yeah, yeah. So you have that like the one thing I was showing at the show is you do real-time power consumption
Yeah.
alerts and controls from the app
Mm-hmm.
if you needed to.
Yep.
So if you're on the road, you could do it that way. or you could log in from your laptop into a browser and look at it from there as well.
Yep.
So yeah, it's got a lot of benefit, and I think that was a big hit. And then the one thing we don't typically talk about, but what does come up with PDUs, these big cases come up where you need like 1,000 units, 2,000 units. The other thing that we offer, like not just on PDUs, but everything for cloud, is RESTful APIs.
Yep.
And that's really key because, we do work with a lot of companies that do integration. And we've been told multiple times that our APIs are super clean and really easy to use. So that was another big takeaway from that particular show, because we had a lot of like integration talk and how easy our APIs are to use. So
yeah, so you could roll that into like the hotel management software or something like that, or you could pull consumption from that and see how much if you put these in the rooms or in the MDUs or whatever, you could see like how much power everything's using. I mean, you could even be running lights or something like that off of these things if you wanted to, right?
The discussion was around PDUs in every room.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay. So you could cycle lights off that when no one's in the room or something, or turn something off that's consuming a lot of power, like the set top boxes. Like, why have those on when no one's in the room, right? They're just like
exactly
power. So that's cool. So what about the wall plate access points? ECW 215s, a lot of interest in those for the hotels too.
Yeah, I think that anymore the wall plates are expected.
Yeah.
It's like if you are providing wireless and you're at the hospitality show, you better have a wall plate. Right. So wall plate, and the one thing that keeps coming up that we keep hearing stories about is that a lot of people tend to try to put a wall plate every other room, and it does work in some cases, but the best scenario is a wall plate every room. And we had multiple discussions around that, but that's the key thing with the wall plate in the hospitality market. You want one in every room.
Yeah, it's made for one room, especially so if in like South America or Mexico, where the hotels are all like concrete or whatever, you're not going to penetrate through that wall. That's why you kind of need those, right? Like in the U.S., a lot of the hotels are either like wood frame construction or something. Then you could use hallway access points even, right? Like it's going to penetrate just fine.
Ooh.
I mean, I know it's not.
Did you really say that?
It's not the way to go anymore.
No, don't do that.
But you could. I'm just saying the reason for that wall plate is that the rooms are just like they're more isolated now. So then.
Well, I mean, and typically what you're doing is you're turning the power way down to close to the power of your client device.
Right.
So
you
do want it in the room.
Walls. Yeah, or as many walls. All right,
the other thing that came up was really interesting, and we were discussing it with the CEO of this company. They have robots in hotels now, right? That are they come and provide towels, or they do whatever to serve like food and things like that. His major issue is connectivity.
Yeah, really.
Wireless connectivity.
Okay.
Within the hotel back to like what you said is APs in like the hallways, like you almost need a connectivity solution for the robots going down these hallways, right? And like the elevators as well. So that was something that came up, and so we had some ideas around that with this particular person. So that was also an interesting issue that came up. So that was.
Yeah, I mean, you really need connectivity everywhere, because when the guests in that hotel, they're not always in the room. They're walking through the hallways or in the lobby. You need connectivity everywhere. The elevators are tricky, but you can do that too. I mean,
yeah. In elevators we would use we would use like devices like in stations where it shot the signal down
the elevator shaft. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a couple different strategies that our customers had for elevators, but
I'm sure like modern elevators actually have Ethernet in there for video cameras and things like that you could tap into. Probably put an AP in there. So then you have like end-to-end coverage. Well, that's cool. That's always a good show. I wish I could have made it. this year, maybe next
Yeah.
year. So some big news in the EV front, like Volkswagen is investing up to $5 billion in Rivian. That's big news. So
5 billion.
5 billion.
Jeez.
Let's that they can use that money. They're supposed to be cash positive by the end of the year, but the reason they're doing it is because Rivian software is so good. This is just like a software partnership where Rivian will give VW Group their base software to run, all the car systems, the infotainment, the navigation, the management, all that stuff. So that Rivian and Tesla really have the best software in the vehicles, because they're writing their whole end-to-end stack. They have their own hardware to run it on. These other car makers are kind of like relying on Apple CarPlay,
Yep.
which does a good job at what it does, but it's not like integrated into the vehicle tightly enough. Like they can't really do that. So Volkswagen in particular was really pretty laggy with like all their software and all their vehicles. Volkswagen, Audi, Porsche, Lamborghini. You buy one of these vehicles and the software is really slow.
Yeah.
It's not a good look, right? So yeah, this is an interesting deal, and I bet a bunch of other companies jump on too. I don't think Tesla would ever sell their software.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about that a
Yeah,
little
it's
bit.
almost like they wouldn't, but maybe they would now that they've seen this going on. They're like, why not? It's extra revenue stream.
Yeah.
But pretty interesting.
But is that really like a lot of their secret sauce, is in the software side, right?
It really is. It is. But it's not like they're just giving it away. They would like Rivian's still gonna be like, they're gonna be designing a system for each one of the VW Group's, vehicles. So they'll have like one that with a they'll have one with like a Porsche front end on it, right? That like shows
Yeah.
like a little bit differently than what Rivian's front end looks like, right? But it's
Right.
still running that like software stack in the background.
Right.
So I think Rivian's going to actually do that for them. They're going to build that for
Oh, okay, got it.
each one of the vehicles. So it's not like they're giving it away, but very smart move. I think that's going to be a key to their success moving forward. So that was pretty cool. What else do we want to talk about this week? PDUs, Rivian. I think that's it. I think we got a lot of work to do today. It's the end of the quarter. You guys are back.
There's a major. We will be doing a major price refresh on switches.
Okay. Just multi-gigabit, right?
All switches.
Oh, okay. I guess I shouldn't order it. It's
It'll be
okay. It'll all be good. All right, guys. Remember to like and subscribe. We'll be back next week with a